What is going on, Patreon squad? Hopefully you guys are having a good one. Back again with another update video, reading through what we have this last week. A few things going on since the combat achievements. Hopefully you guys have been having a good one, maybe enjoying the game a little, but combat achievements were the last one. So I guess the first thing is the combat achievements feedback and changes. Give a little peek here in terms of what they changed. It doesn't seem like there's too much of a blog, so give it a peek. We're thrilled to see so many of you try our new. Okay, yep. I've closely been monitoring your responses. That sounds like a good thing. First off, you said that some of the tasks feel too difficult in comparison to the rewards on offer. Absolutely true that the easy and medium tier rewards aren't the most noteworthy. Rewards at the higher tiers are better, but are also not considerably game-changing. When we originally pitched the idea of combat achievements, feedback suggested that we should focus on promoting players' sense of personal achievement rather than offer something that players would feel obligated to complete. I am 100% behind that. I think that that is so true. I mean, you know, I know we sort of had that conversation on Twitter, but I mean, yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. I would rather people feel like they do it for themselves rather than doing it for some sort of game unlock, you know, because this is just such a unique thing that never really been in the game, and to just make other things easier, I feel like it's a little unnecessary, especially when they got the cosmetics. I feel like the cosmetics and the other sort of just subtle changes are really nice. I mean, of course they could add more, but we'll see what they have to say in terms of that. So the solution, we think there's scope to increase the rewards, but we'd like to consider this at a later date pending more feedback after the dust is settled. If you still feel we should introduce more rewards down the line, we'll consider addressing that in future poll. Alright, so that's kind of what I was feeling like they do. Eventually, if they want to add some more things, maybe they add a thing here or there, but okay, so now more in terms of the difficulty. Let's see. Tasks should be challenging, but no task should feel impossible to complete or dependent solely on luck rather than skill. For this reason, we're going to reduce the RNG element of squashing the giant. Currently, Obor's range and melee attacks do not provide full protection from protection prayers, which means that your success depends on his failure. We plan to change this. Alright. So that seems like something where you're not supposed to take much damage or something along those lines, and people are just taking damage because they can't do anything else. Okay. Also aware that Arclight is required for a couple easy and medium tier tasks, specifically not so great after all, and Demon Bane weaponry. That's despite our recommendation in the combat achievements blog that players would only need base 60s or 70s stats, respectively, to attempt these. Alright, so basically they're scaling back a few, which, I mean, makes sense. We'll also be changing the prepared for battle task to an easy tier, so that counts with low defense can still complete it. And last but not least, the task of fighting as intended to will be tweaked so they can be complete on World 45, as there's currently no free-to-play permanent Deadman Mode world. I'm not too familiar with what that is, but it sounds pretty wild. As far as the changes, I mean, I think it's good. They're taking it slow, changing the, diary tiers as needed. I call them diaries, I guess they're achievements, whatever. They seem like combat diaries, essentially, so that's what I say. But taking a peek here at the Summer Summit, let's see what we got here. Someone mentioned it and was saying, asking my opinion, like, will anything happen? What's coming from this? Apparently, this is tomorrow, so good thing I'm reading this now. Hello, Scapers. On Saturday, July 31st, we're going live with the Summer Summit. The whole lockdown thing has got us thinking about how we usually talk about the cool stuff we're doing previously. We've always went nuts at RuneFest and gave our entire year's worth of content, which is funny because I remember last RuneFest they talked about Group Iron Man, and but we'll see, which was always super exciting until we'd miss the deadlines we set for ourselves. Exactly. But I mean, it makes sense, I understand they gotta hype stuff up and they're willing to tell us what they're working on. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and I'd rather it take longer than have endless updates pumped out. I mean, it's old school RuneScape, for the love of God. This year we're changing our approach. The Summer Summit will focus on big stuff coming in the next 6 months. This approach is something of an experiment for us, and if it goes well, we'll try to do the same in another 6 months' time, looking at the next... Oh, so they might try to do essentially 2 a year, well, it depends. I don't know. If they end up in lieu of RuneFest, which we will miss immensely, we reckon this will be the best way to keep you updated. Okay, so when will RuneFest return? Who knows? But whenever it does, I don't know if this is still going to be a thing. I would like kind of like a year, a check-in. So it's not once every year and then we come back with disappointment. Just keep the disappointment kind of just dripping out at us so we aren't too surprised when the faucet kicks on. And then finally, A Night at the Theater rework. All right, so this is just flying around doing its thing, trying to shoo it. Take a peek here. Essentially, I feel like they might be reworking it because it's a quest that is probably way too hard to complete. I mean, people are telling me it's hard as hell, so we'll see. It's fair to say that A Night at the Theater has been a bit of a poor show. The quest we released didn't match what was originally pulled, and let's be honest, it wasn't up to the standards of an old school RuneScape escapade. We completely agree with your feedback, and we've taken your suggestions on board. Oh, geez. I haven't done this yet, so basically what I understand is it's like a introductory thing into Theater of Blood, essentially. And people that have PM'd me, again, have said that it's extremely hard. So we'll see. I mean, Theater of Blood, whenever I had to learn it, was really hard. Now, of course, this is going to be in a lesser form, but I mean, it's not an easy boss, or boss is. Today, we're launching a rework version that should deliver a proper old school RuneScape questing experience while still providing a satisfying introduction to the quest. With this change, story mode has been renamed entry mode. You'll start the quest the same way as before by speaking to the strange man at the theater and take on a challenge set at the theater to support during the quest at a difficulty setting of your choosing. If you've already played through it, there's a couple of things you should know. Players who completed the previous version of the quest will still need to complete this version, but won't need to complete the raid itself. Okay, players who've completed the previous version will lose the 2 quest points. The quest point case will be lost as normal players who have not completed it. And players who have already used the combat XP lamps from the previous version will receive the additional lamp upon. Oh, yeah. Wow, what a deal. So yeah, I don't really need to look into that anymore. Essentially just reworking, I think making it a little bit easier is what I was kind of understanding there. They didn't really go too much in depth on what they were changing, but maybe they do that down here. Quest icon improvements. All right. So it now shows if the quest is started, not started, completed, or members only. So a little bit added info. It's kind of nice. Additionally, every quest in the list now has a show on map right-click option. Oh, they're gonna start making the RuneLite thing themselves, huh? You only fail the task. Okay, so there's some combat achievement whatnots, and then other changes, and then potential changes. Okay, so this is like achievement stuff that they might be changing. Let's see. Down to 10 to 5, 10 to 5, 150 to 100, 150 to 100. Well, I don't really understand this, but okay. 250, 150, 500, 250. Why? 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 I don't get it. I don't know. Seems iffy. I don't know why you would want to take any of those totals down, especially whenever high-level players are always complaining that they don't have anything to work on. If you're lessening the amount of time that they're going to be spending doing these achievements, it doesn't feel like the right thing to do, especially when it's just like killing a certain amount of monsters. Like, that's not very hard. So I don't quite understand that, but overall, pretty happy with the updates for this week, and happy to come to you guys again with another little update. Like I mentioned before, we will be pumping the Patreon. I will be bumping the Patreon on YouTube, trying to get it more involved. There's a lot of things I would like to do with this. Obviously, I enjoy this, but I would like to provide more value for what we do over here. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun, honestly, keeping up with the combat achievements and just all of the updates that Jagex has had to offer for the last little while. Because before this, I really wasn't that into all of the updates and just constantly being involved. But this has given me a new light on it, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think in the future, I'm probably going to start to make certain videos on topics that I really feel passionate about. So it offers me a lot of fun. So appreciate you. Hopefully you guys have a good one, and we'll be back again next week with another video.